My fellow Jews, good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you are hearing this, or good morning, or just whenever. I hope it's good. Before I begin speaking, I'd like to just say a few words. Today is Women's International Day, and so to all the ladies, to all the women, you do a fabulous job. You really do a fabulous job, and especially we remember those two queens, Vashti and Esther. What a job they did. Unbelievable. And anything you set your mind to, you get it done. In fact, red is the color of Women's International Day. I'm wearing some red in my tie, if you notice. So anything you do, you set your mind to it, you get it done. Maybe you might consider that we could get a Men's International Day. Just saying, would be nice. My fellow Jews, we Jews the world over are facing a most critical situation. So critical, it will reach the level of an actual crisis. The timing of two disconnected events have unfortunately conspired to create the perfect Jewish storm. The finest minds have been working day and night to find a way out of a result more devastating than Y2K, which was a big nothing, by the way. But to date, no solution has been found. We can only pray and fast that calamity can be avoided. In fact, Thursday has been declared an international fast day for all Jews except the Reconstructionists. Let me lay out the problem as succinctly as I can, in that the day is short and the work is great and the master of the house is waiting. The above quote is taken from Rabbi Tarfon in the Talmud, who himself plagiarized it originally from Michelle Obama. Saturday evening at sundown is Purim. Yes, we will have Havdalah at 6:45 and read the Megillah, the whole Megillah. Actually, that's not totally true. We'll read between 15 and 25% of the Megillah. To be more exact, it will be about 10%. How much do you really need anyway? We will begin by blessing Mordechai and cursing Haman, but our tradition dictates that on the evening of Purim, each Jew living in cities with or without walls, drinkers and teetotalers alike, are to get so sloshed as to not know whether to bless Mordechai and curse Haman, or vice versa, or the other way around. Now, medical studies have demonstrated that the amount of time needed to regain one's equilibrium and balance from such a binge, and to be able to again recognize the difference between Mordechai and Haman, and to bless Mordechai and to crush Haman like the cherries in a Hamantash, requires a minimum of 8 hours. Herein lies the problem and the crisis. This Saturday evening is also daylight savings time, and so will spring ahead. This is nothing less than a conspiracy, and we should demand an investigation by someone, anyone. The time for the morning reading of the Megillah will thereby be less than an 8-hour period, and those who observe Purim most meticulously and get totally sloshed out of their minds will still have a hangover when the morning Megillah reading commences. This is a major infraction, and can even lead to an infarction of dire medical consequences. Some have said that the reading of the Megillah should be postponed for an hour due to daylight savings time. This has been condemned, however, as against the teaching of the Torah by both Lubavitch and Reform leaders, because it would mean that Purim carnivals would have to be postponed by an hour and deprive Jewish children the world over the one thing they look forward to in Hebrew school the entire year. And that is not to mention that waiting one extra hour could result in all of the goldfish being dead even before they are placed into a little plastic bag with too little water and not enough oxygen to sustain them. We can only hope, dear friends. We can only hope that salvation will come from some place for ourselves and for the goldfish. Well, maybe just for us, in that most goldfish will find their eternal resting place in toilets throughout Bucks County and North America. But for us, salvation will make it possible for us to return to life as usual and again deal with the simple pleasures of Jewish life, cleaning our homes for Passover, searching out who has the best deal for 5-pound boxes of matzah, and schlepping the kosher for Passover pots and pans up and down the steps. What joy we have. To Jews the world over, quoting from the scroll of Esther, chapter 8, to the Jews there was light and joy and celebration, so let's hope. And so we give gifts to each other and especially to the poor. So may it be for us. So may it be for us if we can but survive the perils of Purim that face us. Otherwise, poor us. As Moses said to Joshua, but we now know he too plagiarized from Michelle Obama. Be strong and have courage. And most of all, be happy. It's Purim. We should live and be well. We'll read the whole Megillah, 110% Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. Bye, 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 bye. Purim's here, Purim's there. Happy Purim, everyone.